thanks for joining us for the Midday News. The journey to crowning this year's Hiri Moale has officially begun. Pre-judging is underway at Tutu Beach Retreat, where contestants are being assessed on their grace, cultural knowledge and traditional attire. Let's go live to Carol Kidu Jr., who's on location for an update.
Hiri Moale Festival program has finally kicked off with day one here at the Tutu Beach Retreat, Tauranga. This first day... Hello everyone, the first day of the Hiri Moale Festival program has finally kicked off, with day one being the pre-judging event where the young lasses, the Hiri Moale, will be assessed according to their traditional knowledge, presentation and confidence. The following days will follow with the float parade and a motorcade beginning at the City Hall Annex, and various schools and cultural groups are expected to showcase the decorated floats leading to the procession at Erakone. Now, judging panels is underway. The Hiri Moale will be assessed today, and the other programs that will follow also will be a sponsors night on the 4th of April at the APEC House, followed by the Trukai Vanagi Heu Helulu and Lagatoi arrival on Saturday, the 5th of April. So a lot to see, a lot to experience. Back to you, Tracy.
Thanks, Carol. Prime Minister James Marape has emphasized his government's commitment to upholding the rule of law following the Supreme Court ruling directing the recall of Parliament to deliberate on a motion of no confidence on Monday.
The Supreme Court, in a decision handed down on Monday, declared that the Private Business Committee's decision of November 27, 2024 to reject the motion of no confidence was unconstitutional. The court further ordered that Parliament be recalled to sit on April 8, 2025, with the motion of no confidence to be placed on the notice paper and debated accordingly. Prime Minister Marape, in responding to this decision, says the government respects the courts and will honor its ruling. The Prime Minister also acknowledged the court's clarification of critical constitutional provisions which pertain to the right of members of Parliament to introduce motions and participate in the democratic processes of government. He also reaffirmed his administration's commitment to democratic norms, distancing it from the political crisis of 2011 and want to leave behind a legacy that upholds judicial independence and respects court decisions. Meantime, Marape praised the legal process and commended the deputy leader of the opposition and all who pursued this matter through the courts. Hiri Moale, Tvwan News.
Pope Francis has approved the canonization of Blessed Peter Torot, making him the first saint of Papua New Guinea. Peter Torot was beatified by the late Pope John Paul II on 17 January 1995. Work on canonization of Blessed Peter Torot has been going on with 3 documents pertaining to his process submitted at the 3rd quarter of this year. To the excitement of the Catholic Church in Papua New Guinea, the Pope announced the canonization of Blessed Peter Torot yesterday. Torot was a catechist who was imprisoned and killed by the Japanese in 1945 for defending the Catholic faith against polygamy. The Constitutional and Law Reform Commission has conducted a consultation with the executive management of the police department as part of its law review process, focusing on TOR 24 review of laws relating to vicarious liability, police brutality in Papua New Guinea. Views and concerns gathered from this consultation will help CLRC put together a report with police, legislative and administrative reform proposals. The consultation generated comprehensive reviews and recommendations addressing various aspects of policing, Discussions explored substantive laws governing the RPNGC Code of Conduct, such as the Police Act, the claims by and against the state, the Wrongs, Miscellaneous Provisions Act, and other relevant laws. CLRC Secretary Dr. Mangi Matui emphasized that the closed consultation with the police is to ensure their perspectives are considered in addressing these issues thoroughly. TOR 24 was issued to the CLRC by the Minister for Justice and Attorney General Pila Niningi in 2024. Directive, which emanated from a discussion paper compiled by CLRC, tasked the Commission to review laws surrounding the indirect liability to the state from police brutality cases in PNG. TOR 24 outlined 7 thematic areas that guide the consultation on the review of laws relating to police brutality in PNG. The key themes are the legal issues relating to damage caused by police brutality and standard compensation rates for damages caused through police brutality, among others. The views gathered from the TOR 24 consultation will contribute to a report containing policy, legislative, and administrative reform proposals. This report will be presented to the Minister for Justice in June this year. The legal fraternity was urged to protect Papua New Guinea's judiciary because it is the last line of defense against the abuse of power. President of the PNG Law Society, Hubert Namani, made this statement during yesterday's Rule of Law March in Port Moresby. Namani said the judiciary must be supported and defend its independence, ensuring that courts remain free from political interference and continue to serve as partial mediators of justice. If the judiciary is weakened, the very foundation of democracy scrambles.
To action. The threats to our democracy and the rule of law are clear, but they are not irreversible. As lawyers and as citizens, we have both a duty and opportunity to push back against these encroachments on our constitutional freedoms. We must act with urgency and resolve. Continue to advocate for judicial independence and constitutional integrity. The judiciary is the last line of defense against abuse of power. We must support and defend its independence, ensuring that courts remain free from political interference and continue to serve as impartial arbiters of justice.
The Toare Cultural Center was officially launched this March, marking a major step in preserving Papua New Guinea's rich heritage. The National Cultural Commission and UNESCO partnered to establish the center dedicated to safeguarding the unique Toare mask tradition.
The newly launched Toare Cultural Center is a historic milestone in cultural preservation, ensuring the Toare mask tradition is protected for future generations. The launch was attended by representatives from the National Cultural Commission, UNESCO, the Gulf Provincial Government, and village elders who emphasized the significance of this initiative.
This is a project partnership project that UNESCO and the National Cultural Commission to take an initiative long working this project long community long Toare Gulf province. Record long NCC. So I must have no project or semi working. One them partnership. On the one international organization was on UNESCO. NCC has been involved in plenty of little project inside long remote areas around the country. Okay, bringing service go along remotest parts where all government services go through. But NCC M7 walk about. This project, one kind of Narba project along all Narba communities around the country. This project, I want a special project. This is a project I want a special project because National Cultural Commission and partnership when they want a big play international organization or call him UNESCO. And Mosam, this is a project I want a special now first project inside the Pacific and inside the country. And come up inside Long Toare, Long Gar province. So Mipla can reason to celebrate.
Previously, the masks were kept in a family home without proper care, leading to a decline in traditional rituals. The new center provides a dedicated space for storage, ceremonies, and cultural education. Community leaders, including Toare Mass Festival Chairman Ben Micah, expressed gratitude to NCC and UNESCO for their support.
Culture has the power to change your life. Culture has the power to bring or generate economy or cash flow into your community.
The project, which began in 2023, aims to instill cultural pride while highlighting the global importance of safeguarding indigenous traditions. With the Toare Cultural Center now operational, the people of Toare Village are committed to keeping their traditions alive, ensuring the heritage thrives for generations to come. Jasmine Irajak, Tvwan News.
To overseas news, Australians with private health insurance can expect to pay more in premiums starting from tomorrow. The government has approved an averaging price hike of almost 4%, but insurances are using a loophole to increase price by almost 35% in some cases, sparking some serious financial distress for some consumers.
Growing up, Judy Giddings loved to play sport, but it came with hurdles.
This is me before my horse riding accident, and probably about the last time I smiled with my mouth open.
Major dental work is only covered under the most comprehensive health insurance policies, meaning Judy has no choice but to pay for top-tier cover, costing nearly $3,000 a year.
If I wasn't still working, I would not be able to afford it.
From Tuesday, private health insurance companies will raise premiums across all levels of cover. The government has approved an average hike of 3.7% weighted across all policies. Consumer Group Choice has found among the top 5 insurance companies, basic cover will rise on average by 0.78%, bronze by 2.5%, silver by 3.2%, but premiums for gold policies, the most comprehensive, will spike by nearly 12.6%.
For individual policyholders, it is completely meaningless. Gold policyholders could be having a 14% increase, and some people can even have no increase or go backwards.
The approved increase also does not affect the price of new policies. The loophole has allowed health funds to close and reopen almost identical policies at a higher cost. Health Minister Mark Butler has ordered his department to investigate ongoing phoenixing by health funds and says it's shameful it's continued. HCF says it had to close its former gold policy to improve its financial sustainability.
And that means the overall composition of the policyholders is going to be much older and more expensive to cover for.
Tough choices ahead for Australians facing unaffordable healthcare.
The corporate watchdog is calling on superannuation funds to overhaul the way they deal with death benefit claims. It allows an ASIC review of 10 major super funds. It found excessive delays and poor customer service are leaving people worse off at some of the most vulnerable times of their lives.
Kathy Clark didn't think that when her brother Craig passed away, she would face more grief. But her brother's superannuation fund, Australian Super, took months to pay out Craig's death benefit.
There was a lot of tears and frustration just based on the length of time. It wasn't even about the money.
The fund took so long to process the claim that it eventually offered Kathy compensation of just $28.99 to be divided between 3 people.
I felt insulted. I would have preferred just an apology.
Australian Super would not comment on Miss Clark's case, but said in a statement that it has now brought claims processing in-house and has seen a significant reduction in claims processing times.
While Australian Super and CBUS were left out of ASIC's scathing report into the way funds manage death benefit claims, it is taking legal action against these funds over their handling of death benefit and disability claims, and it's flagged it could take more funds to court.
Grieving Australians should not have to suffer stress and in some cases financial hardship because of their failures.
ASIC's report covers 10 funds responsible for about 38% of the APRA-regulated market. It found there was a big difference in claims closed within 90 days between the slowest and fastest funds. Of the claims ASIC reviewed, 78% had delays caused by processing issues within the trustees' control.
We've really worked very hard on improving processes and responding better to what the public rightfully expect of their super fund.
A promise that may be too little, too late for people like Kathy.
And that ends the news update. Join us at 6 tonight for more.